Eddie, first things first, are you going to buy Kevin Johnson's book?
Well, apparently he's taken over Anthony Joshua's contract. He's got a new book out where he explains in his book how he beats Anthony Joshua. What a character. Talks a great game. I mean, I was actually looking at him talking, thinking, please don't win on Saturday. You know, like I said to him in my questions to him, a lot of people are saying the question is, will Anthony Joshua stop Kevin Johnson, or will it go on points? He says he knocks out Anthony Joshua. He's going to come in with his hands down. He's going to school him. I hope not. But, you know, like I say, he talks a great game.
People in here are going, is he going to win this? But I suppose the important thing is Anthony Joshua having any kind of flickering of that sort of thought, and is he underestimated him?
No, I think when you break it down, you look at Kevin Johnson, you think he's a good fighter. I mean, Anthony's had a good apprenticeship, but he's not really fought anyone of Kevin's ability. Not just skill set, but also mental experience. So it's definitely going to be the biggest challenge by a mile for Anthony. And one of the questions asked was about Kevin old man in him. Is he going to come in with his hands down and hold him and frustrate him and hit him around the back of the head and all these things that could unsettle Anthony Joshua? Probably is the answer. And that's one of the most interesting things, is how Anthony deals with it. Because he's not experienced anything like this before, and I think it's important to his development that he's having this kind of experience in and out of the ring before Saturday night.
Yeah. How important is it going forward? Because the idea is with Anthony Joshua, he's going to have huge fights for the next 10 years or so. How important is it to deal with this? Someone in your ear telling you these things, trying to kind of psych you out and kind of mess with you in your head. How important is that to deal with at this stage?
It's very important, and it'll be interesting to see how that translates in his performance. If he's frustrated now and if he's a little bit angry now, sometimes that can show in the ring. Maybe it drives him on to be sharper and be more devastating than we've seen him before. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. Still got the weigh-in, and I think Johnson's got some extra mind games planned for the weigh-in as well. So I think that I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the fight, just in general, because I'm fascinated to see how Anthony deals with him. He's never had the opportunity to showcase really what he's got in terms of his defence, in terms of his patience, in terms of his jab. He's sort of, everything's been one wham bam thank you ma'am all over. So I'm excited to see that, and I think I tried to get Kevin Johnson to fight in Newcastle, and I gave him about 3 or 4 weeks notice, which the old Kevin Johnson, he'd snap your hand off, but he said I have to win this fight, or he said it there, or I'm done, my career's over. So he's been very quiet up in Manchester training. Not sure where he's training, he doesn't want to tell anyone, but he's up for it, and it's the perfect test for Anthony Joshua.
You spend a lot of time with Anthony, obviously, you know a lot about him. Is there anything you've seen from him, speaking to him and being around him this week and in the build up to this fight, that does let you think that he's got into his head a little bit, or at least that he's dealing with this fight differently to his others?
Just more focus. I think inside, Anthony looks at Kevin Johnson and thinks, I want to destroy you. He won't say that yet in the press conference. Anthony's got it. Anthony doesn't want to talk too big before he has the right to. He's that kind of person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what he doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to come out and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to win the heavyweight championship of the world. He says he wants to earn that respect, and and that's the way he wants to deal with it. So what he doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to come out and say, I'm going to do this to you, he's not that kind of person. So, but inside, I know that he has extra focus for Kevin Johnson on Saturday night, and ultimately, he does want to KO him badly.